1-2-4 for Scotty Dog to level this game up at 1 apiece. Level 18. Gives him a dart at the bullseye.
99.
Raises the 25, and so Adrian Gray to get the break.
Similar position to where Mitchell found himself in the previous leg. He couldn't take the opportunity. Can Adrian? Oh, yes, he can. That's a fabulous out. 105 for a three-figure out, a 15-dart leg. I think because of the career he's had, often ends up being a favourite for things, doesn't he? And with darts like that,
180. Adrian, you require 141.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen it at the seniors as well. I think it probably did add to the pressure last year when he suddenly became favourite. We saw the same thing with John Henderson at the match play, seniors match play, lost first round. Double 12 here for Adrian Gray. Oh, what a shot that is.
Adrian Gray.
Well, that puts the pressure on Scott Mitchell, no doubt about it. A 1-4-1 finish for a second 15-darter of the match.
It's Scott to throw first.
And just after Mitchell had hit a maximum as well. That is some answer from Adrian Gray.
And now it's all for Scott Mitchell to do, throwing to stay in this opening match of the session. But that's some way to start. That's his second max of the last two scoring visits, the third of the game for him, the fifth of the game all told.
The last one just makes it a little more tricky. So even if Scott Mitchell doesn't clean this up, he wants to at least take a chunk out of it. 60 off. Another 60 off. That leaves tops.
120.
That's over the top from Scott Mitchell. The grimace says it
Adrian,
all.
you require 103.
But Adrian Gray's already missed key darts in this match. 2 to lead 3-0. 2 to win the match. Will he miss more? Will he get more? He will.
Double 16 for the match.
71.
And that would have been for a third ton plus out of the match as well. But Mitchell comes back for tops to seal a 4-3 victory.
And Scott seals it.
The match. Scott Mitchell.
Mitchell is the man in the end, and the difference was the ability to cross that line. Adrian Gray missed a hat-trick of darts to win the opening game of the day, and Scott Mitchell took full advantage despite the big finishing. A couple of ton pluses from Adrian Gray, including that 1-4-1. I think because of the career he's had, often ends up being a favourite for things, doesn't he? And with darts like that,
180. Adrian, you require 141.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen it at the seniors as well. I think it probably did add to the pressure last year when he suddenly became favourite. We saw the same thing with John Henderson at the match play, seniors match play, lost first round. Double 12 here for Adrian Gray. Oh, what a shot that is.
Adrian Gray.
Well, that puts the pressure on Scott Mitchell, no doubt about it. A 1-4-1 finish for a second 15-darter of the match.
It's Scott to throw first.
And just after Mitchell had hit a maximum as well. That is some answer from Adrian Gray.
And now it's all for Scott Mitchell to do, throwing to stay in this opening match of the session. But that's some way to start. That's his second max of the last two scoring visits, the third of the game for him, the fifth of the game all told. When we've seen Howson here in the past, these are the types of finishes that kind of been like bread and butter for him. But again, that first dart above the treble, which means that he's gone double-double. And he has found the double-double for the 96 for the break and a 2-0 lead. And when he's left with a finish in that kind of range, he can be deadly at his best.
He's really strong in Southampton.
And
that was perfect from Wickenden, who's just reminding Richie that this is not a practice game. He does have an opponent.
Threatening an 11-darter of his own to return the game to throw. He may have to take it out in this visit. Howson hitting a max to leave himself on 60 to go 3-0 to the good. So double 16, 2 in hand. Goes in 1. That's the second 11-dart leg in 3 legs to kick off this match. Wickenden gets the break back. The game returns to throw, but Howson still leads 2-1.
So, for the match, for a 4-3 win, right on the wire. Is it a help or a hindrance?
Game shot.
But he brushes it in off the barrel.
Richie Howson.
And he wins it in the last leg decider. A very good game of darts. Richie Howson averaging 98.88 in the end. 50% strike rate on his doubles. Wickenden was even better than that. 3 out of 4 but was restricted to just those 4 attempts, and Howson's power scoring helped him through. Double 19 leaves double 10. Single 18 leaves double top.
Game shot on the
And that leaves him ahead and throwing for the match. His opening match in Group C.
Game
and that's
shot
exactly
and
what
the
he
match.
does.
Andreas Jorgenson.
It's Danish delight for Jorgenson, who defeats Justin Smith 4-2. A decent darting duel. Smith had his opportunities, but it was Jorgenson who took his. An average of just over 86 in the end. He had plenty of opportunities in that game. Both players having 9 darts at double, but Mitchell, well, working like a dog this week, isn't he? He'll be in the comms box tonight. But here, he's letting his darts do the talking.
Game shot on
A
the first
wonderful
leg.
check out from
Scott
Mitchell, a 1-4-1. The very same finish that he had hit against
Second
him
leg, it's Richie's to throw
in
first.
the opening match
Game
when
on.
Adrian Gray produced that party piece. But Mitchell, well, he likes that. He likes those darts. They're the ones.
Richie required 160.
Well, when he played here in January, Richie Howson, he hit 4 of these particular finishes. The 116 was dubbed the Howson. And now he wants tops.
Game shot on the
For
third
another
leg.
one of them to get
Richie
the break
Howson.
back. It's 2-1. And it is a second ton topping finish of the match.
She required 108.
We'll note this for later. 108 for Howson for what would be a second ton topper in succession to square this game up at 2-2. Going to get a dart at double 16 to
Game
square
shot
this
on the
match
fourth
up with
leg.
back-to-back
Richie
ton
Howson.
topping finishes. And level we are at 2-2. Scott Mitchell, who had a 2-0 lead, has been
Fifth
reeled
leg,
back
it's Scott
in
to
by
throw
Richie Howson.
first.
He's not going to. So Mitchell match darts incoming.
54.
Put him in the early
Scott, you require
ascendancy in the group. He'd be
62.
the first player on to 4 points and begin to set his authority on the group. So it's going to be a dart at tops for the match for Scott Mitchell to seal a 4-2 victory against Richie Howson. And the battle of the 2 players, many thought would be the top 2 in the group. It is Scott Mitchell that sends a statement out. A 4-2 victory between 2 senior stars and, well, a celebration and a relief on the face of Scott Mitchell as the pair enjoy a joke at the end of that one. A 4-2 win. Certainly the case. The first 2 games going to deciders, the last 2 going 4-2. But Adrian Gray looking to change the record and go 3 to the good, obtaining the double break in the process. If he can find double 4,
Game
which
shot on
goes
the
last
third
dart
leg.
in hand, that
Adrian
was
Gray.
almost a celebration more of relief. But now is throwing for the match.
Adrian, you required 32.
He's turned up to the party when they're putting the chairs on the tables.
Game
And that
shot,
is
and the match.
the winning moment
Adrian
for
Gray.
Adrian Gray. A 4-0 whitewash win against Andreas Jorgenson. A debut day at the Super Series for Gray. It started well for him when he led against Scott Mitchell. Couldn't convert that into a win, but he hasn't made the same mistake again. A 4-0 victory against a Dane. An average north of 91. 4 out of 10 on the doubles. Really good stuff from Gray.
To keep Chris honest, but it's double 16 here for 2-1. And it mean that each of the opening 3 legs would have been
42.
won in the space of
Justin, you
15. And if
require
that stat is
102.
going to continue, Justin Smith's going to have to take out the 102.
Good dart.
Game shot on the
Good
third
dart.
leg.
Good finish.
Justin Smith.
A 102 for a 3-leg lead and a 15 darter again. And Justin Smith here. But he's cooking on gas,
Fourth
isn't
leg,
he?
it's Justin, you require
And I reckon
14.
Justin Smith has had enough now. He'll slam it in. Hasn't made his mind up yet about whether to split or not. Now he has. He is going to. And he does
Game
slam it in.
shot, and the
And
match.
it is
Justin
a
Smith.
4-0 win for Justin Smith against Chris Wickenden, following up the same scoreline that Adrian Gray got against Andreas Jorgenson. That means Wickenden, the only player without a win in his first couple of games in this group, despite the higher average in the end, 91.81.
This way, he probably was better off shaking Scott Mitchell's hand after the first leg. This for 3-0. Tops or 120.
100.
Ditch just below.
Andreas, you require 107.
107 then to suddenly fire in a bolt from the blue and get into the game. can still do it on treble 18. Everything is off at the moment for Toft.
27. Scott, you require 20.
2-10s for
Game
3-0.
shot on the third leg.
And Scott Mitchell is making light work of Andreas Toft Jorgenson.
When he wanted a single, and he's made a mess of it since then. Andreas Toft Jorgensen has made a mess of the number ring.
No score. Scott, you require 16.
To crawl over the line.
Game,
and Scott Mitchell eventually does get the win. He toyed around for the last few visits of that one, Scotty Dog, and a loving embrace between him and Andreas Toft Jorgenson. He shakes his head. Yes, that was a scrappy last leg, wasn't it, Scott? But the substitute player is 3 from 3 at the top of Group C. He beats Andreas Toft Jorgenson by 4 legs to 1.
But 18, it can get tricky if you go inside with your first start. He just wants to hit this straight away and avoid that kind of occurrence again.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
The fact that he left the 2 markers outside opened up the bed for Justin Smith, and it's all square in this one, 2-2.
Fifth leg, it's Rich.
Smith comes back for 64 for the match. It's double 8 to complete the job with a 14 darter and a spurt towards the line. Just as Richie Howson just took his foot off the gas a little bit, Justin Smith a 4-2 victor against Richie Howson, and that moves him onto 4 points. Although it hasn't been a classic performance, it has just been enough. He's going to have 2 darts at tops of the match. The way that dart sits up, is that a help or a hindrance? It's perfectly fine. It's a perfect win for Adrian Gray. Back-to-back 4-0 victories for him. It's back-to-back 4-0 defeats for Chris Wickenden. And it's a bit of relief more than anything else for the conqueror.
And that's with the throw.
Game shot on the fourth
That's how much of a favourite Richie Howson was. But now he has the throw, Jorgensen, for a 4-1 defeat. Sending out the SOS for Richie Howson. It's not escaped our attention how well Toft Jorgensen has played in this match, and he's a deserving winner of the match. A 4-1 win for Andreas Toft Jorgensen that boosts his chances of qualifying, and in the process really hampers Howson's opportunities of making it through to finals night. The Dane does a job, an average of 91.3. But it's getting better, this game.
Game shot on the
hold the front page, hold the back page, hold every page, because Chris Wickenden is in danger of producing by far the best performance he's ever produced. That was a long way away from any treble, as he just decided to tee up tops because he knows Scott Mitchell's on 260.
Guarantee free in hand at this turn, quite possibly. He knows he's now got the guarantee. 60. Well, he's got the guarantee of as much time as he wants realistically now. He's got 6 for the match at tops to pick up his first victory.
If he wants to play really safe, he could go for an 8 here. Because he doesn't want to go inside on 20 and then inside on 10. But he hits the double and he wins the match. It's the first win for Wickenden and a first defeat for Scott Mitchell. Had the look of a man that didn't want to go ball, didn't he? And it's all going Gray's way at the moment.
Game shot on the third leg.
2 breaks. And on course for 3 wins out of 4.
Gray back for 80 to till a hat-trick of 4-0 wins. Gonna be 1 dart at tops.
Game
and it is a 4-0 win for Adrian Gray. A hat-trick of 4-0 wins for Adrian Gray as he begins to assert his authority on Group C. He's top of the pile now, and we've got the better of Justin Smith, who can see the funny side of proceeding, but he would have felt that there was an opportunity missed there to potentially go top of the table.
Yes. Oh, double 18. They just have to go for that double.
65. Christian
and Wickenden could go for it as well if he finds a treble 10. Well, he's changed the route on that. He went for treble 18 instead. Now he needs to bed the bullseye.
Game shot on the
He
fifth
pins
leg.
it perfectly.
Chris Wickenden.
Wickenden leads 3-2.
Just keep him in the periphery
Game,
in
shot,
terms of
and the
qualification.
match, Chris Wickenden.
And Chris Wickenden gets the better of Andreas Jorgenson by 4 legs to 2. A victory for
Pale
Richie
into
requires
insignificance if he's
6-2.
beaten 4-0 in his last match and left to stew on that until tomorrow.
double 16 for Howson for the double breaker
Game
throw
shot on
and a
the third
3-0 lead.
leg.
And
Richie
also,
Howson.
something that maybe the rest of the opposition may want to put in notice is looks possibly set to seal a 4-1 victory if he can take out this 68. 2 in hand at double 4.
64.
But that is more match darts. That's 3 match darts missed now for Richie
Adrian
Howson.
requires 77.
Can Gray carry on this escapology act? Oh, he only needed the big 20 for a go at the bull. Yes, you should punish yourself. You must write out 50 times, I will not miss the big
37.
number.
Richie required 4.
Desmond double for Howson for the win. He's getting closer. And that
Game,
one's in.
shot,
And
and the
Richie
match,
shades
Richie
Gray.
Howson.
A 4-1 victory for the Owl Richie Howson to end his day. As for Adrian Gray, when he picked up 3 4-0 wins, but bookends his day with defeats and something being spoken about there between the pair. Looks like it's civil enough between the two. 79 left, so double 19 leaves double 11 for a
Game
3-1
shot on the
lead,
fourth
and that
leg.
is back-to-back
Justin
combo
Smith.
finishes for Justin Smith to move in a leg of the match, and a victory here against
Fifth
Scott
leg,
Mitchell,
Scott's
who
throw for-
Justin Smith had opened up that advantage 3-1. Hasn't had another dart double since.
51.
But he might get one. He might get one.
Justin, you require 101.
already had a 102 in this match. Can Justin Smith win it with a 101? Mitchell lurking back on double 10 if he can't complete the job here. Double 19, treble 15 leaves double 18 for the match.
83.
It goes inside, and so Mitchell is back for double 10.
Scott, you required 20.
So this, to go top of the table. A late replacement out of the commentary box, onto the hockey.
10.
And ruined my line. Look at that.
Justin, you
If looks
require
could kill,
18.
that dartboard will be getting buried.
And Justin Smith literally sank to his knees. He tried to split, but now leaves double 7.
Will he split again? Surely not. Double 7.
Game,
And he
shot,
finds it.
and the
Well,
match,
that's not the way he
Justin
planned it.
Smith.
But Justin Smith beats Scott Mitchell in a match that means this group is going to have a real grandstand finish feel about it tomorrow.